Picture this in your mind. You go out with this guy on a date, you have a good time with him, you guys talk, you share stories, you laugh, you crack jokes on each other, you feel like everything is falling in place. After the date, you're still in communication with this guy, everything seems to be working out well, and in your mind, in your heart, you're like, God, this is the guy I've been waiting for, this is that relationship I've been hoping to get into. Then a month down the line, 2 months down the line, you're eagerly expecting to hear this guy say, okay, would you now be my girlfriend? I want you to be my woman. I want us to work out a relationship together. You're not getting what you're expecting. You're not getting the desires of your heart. 2 months down the line, you see that communication is no longer as fluent, it's no longer as sweet as it used to be. It feels like this guy is withdrawing. He doesn't really care for you as much as he did. He doesn't call, he doesn't text, he doesn't check up on you. 3 months down the line, you see that the relationship that you thought was coming to life has ended even before it started. Have you ever been in a situation like that? Do you know someone who has been in a situation like that? So today in this video, I want us to talk about some of the things women do that turn men off, that abort beautiful relationships that would have been even before it started. I know some of you will come up here telling us that, come on, a woman doesn't need a man. Why should a woman's life revolve around a man? I know that there are people like that. But for those of us who love, for those of us who want to share our lives with someone, for those of us who don't want to end up old and lonely, for those of us who want to be pampered by our men, these men are really very important to us. And keeping them happy is our business. Yes, keeping them happy is our business. So in this video, I'll be sharing with you 17 habits, things that women do that turns off men. Come on, listen, evaluate. If you find yourself doing some of these things repeatedly, work on yourself first to become a better person, then for your Prince Charming or whosoever. Some of the things written down here are things I have done, things I have experienced, things I have been through, and trust me, those are not good things. These things scare men away from you. So without wasting any more of your time, let us get right into it. The number one thing that women do that men consider a turn off is you are overly eager. You go out on a date with this guy. Yes, you guys had a good time. You discussed, you talked well. After that, you don't stop bombarding his phone with calls. You are calling nonstop. You are texting nonstop. You're checking up on them every 5 minutes. It is, if you are stalking them, let this man breathe, rest, and let him rest as well. You are supposed to take out time to process the events of your date. What went wrong? What didn't go wrong? What was it about this person that you really found interesting? Process all of that and let him process them too. When you're constantly calling him, you're constantly texting him, you're bombarding his phone every second, every minute, every hour. It gives that man the vibe that you are chasing him. It gives him the vibe that you have nothing doing with your time, nothing doing with your life. I know you so much want a relationship with this guy, but come on, dear, you have to practice self-control. Yes, self-control is very important. Resist that urge of wanting to call him all the time. Go about your day. Let him be the one that does the calling. Let him be the one that does the texting. And when he does, reply to him and don't talk too much. Don't give out too much information. Don't make very silly jokes or make insinuations that would put you out as being desperate for this man's attention or being desperate getting into a relationship with him. Stop bombarding his phone. This is a turn off to men, especially those ones that are really very busy and know what they want when they see it. The second thing I have written down that is a turn off to men is you're too loud. Like, you keep talking, and you never stop talking. If you're seated in a gathering, it is your voice everyone will hear. And it's not like you're making very pertinent statements, even things that do not require you adding your voice to it. You are talking about it. Even when it doesn't concern you, you just jump into people's conversations. You're talking at the top of your voice. You're shouting so loud that there is something known as public composure. Learn how to compose yourself when in public, especially when you are with your man. The lousiness, the noise here and there, the seeking for notice in public is something that really turns off a man. A lot of men are kind of reserved, they love minding their business, and they just want to be in their own space with their own person. So if you are their person, turn down the amount of noise you make. Carry yourself with some level of dignity. Don't be everywhere. Don't be so loud. And the third thing that actually turns a man off in a woman is you constantly discussing your past relationships. You keep talking about your ex, how your relationship went sour, how your ex did not do this, how they did not do that. Come on, this guy is a man. Do not talk down on his fellow man before him. He's your ex. Let him stay ex in the past. Focus on your relationship, your date, whatsoever you're trying to build with the person you have in front of you. Stop visiting the past that is gone. He is your ex for a reason. It means he's your past. Stop talking about your past relationships on and on and on. When you're getting to meet a new guy, when you're getting to know a new guy, it's boring. If you have nothing to talk about, just preach the word of God. Preach the word of God to them. And another thing that is equally a turn off to guys that a lot of women do is keeping close contact, in close communication with your ex. You do not only talk about him from Monday to Sunday during your date, but you are now keeping close communication with him. And when you're actually like, come on, that we broke up doesn't mean we are enemies. He sleeps over at my place sometimes, and well, sometimes I sleep over at his place. Who are you fooling? Of course, I trust my Christian girls will not even do something like that. Yes, when you are done with a man, be done with him. Stop keeping all of those, attaching all of those strings. It makes you look unserious to the present guy that you have in your life. So just keep away all of the ex business. Don't, you're not enemies with them, but they necessarily do not have to be in your life. Just keep them at the corner and focus on who is in front of you at the moment. Stop talking about those your exes. Stop calling them. Stop. No, don't. Move on and move on wholly. Talking about them constantly would make your present guy, the present guy in your life, feel like, well, you still love this guy. So why are you trying to be in a relationship with them? And that is you losing out. So keep away all of the ex stuff somewhere. And the fourth thing that I see some women do that turns off men is talking down on people in public. You see that restaurant you went to eat and you insulted the waiter just because they did something very little, or they mistakenly spilled a drink on you, or their service was not the best, and you suddenly open your mouth and you begin to spill out all of the rubbish that your brain can manufacture at that time. It is wrong. There is something known as self-composure. Every woman should have it. There is something known as self-control. Every woman should develop it. It is not every time you just talk. It is not everything you say. Do not talk down on people, those that are serving you, be it your maid or whoever. Just because the person is not as privileged as you are doesn't mean you should talk down on that person and makes them feel very little of themselves. That is an attitude that would turn off any human being. Even your fellow women will be turned off at such an attitude. And the next thing that actually really turns off a man is you constantly talking down on this man, making him feel like he's very little, making him feel like he doesn't matter, making him feel like he doesn't match up to your status. If he's that small of a man, what are you doing with him? If it doesn't match up to your status, what are you doing with him? So stop making the men around you, the men asking you out, the men in talking stage with you, stop making them feel very little of themselves. The worst still is you comparing them with those your ex. My ex did this, but you're not doing it. My ex did that, but you're not doing it. If you could just do this, stop it. Every man comes with his own flavor. Do not talk down on that man that is asking you out. It turns him off. Soon before you know it, they are looking out of the door already. And the next thing I wrote down that actually turns a man off is a woman who argues all the time. You are always arguing with this man. You never accept that you are wrong when you are wrong. You're always arguing. Every little thing you flare up. You are always right. You never want to give up on an argument. Even when you know you are wrong, you are arguing. Come on, sister, take a chill pill and rest. Calm down your nerves. Everything to you is war. Everything to you is fight. You have to fight it through. There are some women that are fierce like that. It's destroying you. It's scaring men away from you. Learn to be a woman. Don't argue all the time. Even if you're a lawyer, wait until when you get to court. Then you present all of your arguments. Then you present all of your arguments before the judge. Let that man breathe. Don't be that woman that is always arguing, that is always talking, and talking. Stop it. It's not nice. It's not womanly. And another thing that turns men off is you being overly angry and too sensitive about everything. Like you keep malice. This guy does the tiniest of mistakes and you hold him to it. Every time he says something, you're using what he did or something he said wrong against him. You don't forgive. You're always stuck up. It is bad. Be a flexible young lady. You don't have to be angry at everything. You don't have to be overly sensitive, even at the tiniest of things. You don't have to keep malice. There are some of you that are very good at keeping malice. You can keep malice with someone for a week, for a month, for a year, and you're very okay. How do you do that? How do you carry all of that burden in you? Stop it. Learn how to forgive, let go, be free. Do not keep malice. Yes. And the very next thing I want to say is please subscribe to this channel if you've not done so already. Kindly, please hit that subscribe button. I am sure you clicked on this video because, and you're still watching up until this point because you're enjoying the content you are getting. To get more of this, please kindly click the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so that every time we upload a video like this, you would get notified and you'll come right here to watch. And if this is your first time, coming across our community, my name is Senorita, and you're welcome to stay with us. And to all my returning viewers and subscribers, thank you all so much for trusting us to spend your time, a part of your day with us. We are so grateful. Now, after having said that, let us go back to those things that you do that are turning these men